I mean, Alana is thinking about getting a Subaru, so if there's any time to start getting afraid, it's now.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Camp Throuple Podcast. We are your camp hosts. I'm Alana.
I'm Megan.
Yo, it's Kevin. How's it going?
Yo.
Yo, 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 yo.
Of course it's Kevin.
Guys, it's good to be back.
It's good to be back. Took a little break.
Yeah,
Just a
I mean,
mini break.
I feel like we're not sticking to as much of a schedule.
We're all struggling a little today.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times it took us to do that intro.
That's right.
Maybe you do. Please leave that out.
But we're going to do something a little different today. So each one of us for the next 3 episodes is going to get put on the hot seat and get grilled with questions and just give their experience of being in a throuple. Because I feel like a lot of times we just talk about it as a group and like how we handle it as a group. But we all are experiencing this very differently because of our personalities, our upbringings, our genders. So we thought it would be kind of cool just to, ask each other questions. And we don't know what like Kevin's first today, and he doesn't know what the questions are. How do you feel about that, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good
I'm
to
always
this.
in competition, man. Nah,
Let's go. Then.
Competition mode.
that's right.
All right.
All right, cool. Let's just kick it.
Kick it, girl.
All right. I'm going to start here. Do you ever feel like the world sees you as lucky, but they don't understand what it really takes to be with 2 women?
For sure. I mean, I am lucky. Like, you both are amazing, and I have 2 girlfriends. That's very lucky. I don't think a lot of men have the luxury of saying that. But it's not just luck. There's been a lot of personal development that I've had to do. There's been a lot of understanding that has had to happen. You never having a boyfriend or being in a relationship with a male came with its sort of, challenges. Being in a relationship with you never being in a relationship with a woman, and like unpacking that with you, and just the dynamic alone is very different than just a monogamous relationship. So having to listen to no, I'm just kidding.
He's like, I'm kind of kidding.
There's like just a lot of patience and a lot of from my end for myself, but then also with both of you, and the dynamic is very different.
But having like 2 female energies rather than just being with like 1 female.
That's why I said we need to get a male dog to help balance out the scales. Yeah.
It does, because that dog
A
is
lot of
all
estrogen.
boy.
Yeah.
So he helps balance it out.
He does.
All right.
Yeah, I'm lucky, but it's not to say there's not a lot of work that happens, behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with those challenges and like with going into this type of relationship, because we've all had to do a lot of growth, but do you feel like you've changed the most emotionally, mentally, or socially?
That's a really good question. Probably emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Socially, in a way, because like I'm always that like protector. So I'm observing my environment, making sure we're all safe, making sure nothing happens. We have an escape route if we need it. So I'm constantly analyzing when we go out in public, and having 2 women, it like that puts it on overload, but that also goes in with the like mental and emotional, like whenever we go out, especially in like at a concert or something like that, where there's a lot happening, a lot of people are drinking. It definitely gets like there's a stimulus overload by the end of the day. Like at the end of the evening, I'm just wiped from like constantly assessing situations or what might happen here. It's just it's not like in a controlling sense. It's more of like making sure we're all safe.
Yeah.
But definitely emotionally, I think.
Well, and I think even how you answered the first question and mentioning 2 women, that is extra estrogen. There is a lot more going around. So I feel like on your end of things, of having to, I don't want to say deal with our emotions, but
Well, he's got to tap into his more
exactly
to deal with ours. Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then like when we've had some of our arguments in the past, and like we've spoke before about me trying to like solve problems instead of just listening and letting you guys express how you feel. Hearing from the other person Like, no, see, this is, and watching how you two interact has helped me be like, oh, okay. Like I can listen more and just not try and jump into problem solving mode, you know?
That makes sense. And you have totally, and I think in that aspect, changed a lot. Not saying that you were doing something wrong before, because, you know, with you two, maybe it worked okay like that. And you know what I mean? Like, but I do think you are less, like you're very aware when I'm voicing something, especially, I mean, I've noticed that you're like, do you want me to listen right now or do you want me to help you? Like pretty much every time if I'm having some kind of like, I don't know, bitch fit, you know, you ask, which is, it's very nice. I appreciate that.
Thanks. It's a slow learner, but I'm getting there.
You're doing an excellent job.
All right. So, Kevin.
I love this interviewer voice.
So we each have our own little laptops.
We do.
I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very official.
It is.
So, speaking about being with two women,
Right.
this one might be a little spicy.
Oh.
Did you ever fantasize about being with two women before? And how has reality compared to that?
Talk about the hot seat.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely fantasize about that for sure. Like, I think every dude has, you know? Like maybe not every dude, but a lot of men, I think, do think like that. It's definitely better in reality, 100%. Because like I've talked to you guys before, like sex and intimacy isn't just the like I've told you how I view this. It's like the most intimate connection you can share with another human. And being able to share that and see the connection you guys have as well was something I didn't really expect.
Yeah.
It was mostly thinking of like, oh, this is going to be awesome. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But then being in love with you and having an individual relationship, being in love with you and having an individual relationship and watching your own individual relationship grow. It's cool when we're when intimacy is going down, that like it's just so much love. There's like the love I share with both of you, the love you share with each other, and I didn't expect that part, which is freaking cool. But yeah, it's definitely better in reality for me at least than in my imagination.
That's great. That's great news.
Yeah, and I mean it. Again, not getting into too much detail because we don't talk about intimacy too much, but that was a shared fantasy together.
Yeah.
Prior to actually jumping into this, it was a little bit of talk, and then we were like, "You want to actually?"
We're like, wait a second, hold
you
on.
want to try this out?
You want to
Yeah.
do this?
See
That
what
actually
can
sounds
happen?
kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's funny for me. Like I don't feel like women think about that as much. Maybe
I call bullshit
maybe
because
we,
I
like,
have
don't
friends
watch
that
as
read
much porn.
women novels that talk about that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that
I guess
people
that
are
would put it
really
in your
into
head.
it.
Yeah.
that's true.
Well, and again, like this is not an interview about me, but I'm going to
No,
talk
go ahead.
about
The
myself. for a
spotlight's on you,
second.
babe. Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to say that because I thought that I was bisexual, but wasn't sure because I'd never explored that. I think that played into the fantasy as well. I think if you're not interested in women, you might not
Think about it.
think about that.
Yeah, that makes
Like
sense.
it wouldn't be a fantasy for you.
Yeah.
But there could be like a chick with two dudes or a chick with two chicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's all
It's all
kinds
about
of
three.
variations.
Yeah.
All about three. So as we all know, Megan and I are also in a relationship.
Hey,
For you though, do you ever worry that one of us is going to get jealous of the other? How do you prepare for that? I know that's a really popular question, is jealousy. And a lot of times I think people aim that at myself and Megan because there's two females. So that kind of in people's minds plays into what we would get jealous about more.
do you mean like more in the beginning with him? Like if he was worried about us getting jealous?
I guess so.
Like how
yeah.
you would deal with that situation?
100%. Yeah. Definitely in the beginning of our relationship, I was super conscious of like you and how you were feeling. Not just like, this is awesome. I just get to experience like all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
It was more like, okay, I know you were on this journey of figuring out if you were bi or not. And then I wanted to check in with you and like, hey, are you okay? Like, it's one thing if you're bi, it's another thing to be bi and polyamorous, where it's like seeing me with another person maybe you were like bi and you're like, yeah, I am bi, but I don't like seeing you with another person.
Yeah.
So I was very like cognizant of that and being like, okay, like after we met Megan for the first time in person, like driving home, we had like a big talk about that. Like, are you okay? Like, how do you feel? How was that for you? So I was not nervous, like I wasn't thinking about it, but then when we would hang out or something, or when intimacy fell upon us, it was more like, okay, like make sure to check in with you. And then as we developed the relationship, I started doing the same thing with you. Like, are you okay with things with me and her? Or I guess it only comes up now with gifts. Like if I want to surprise you guys and like get you a little something, it's like I'm hyper aware of the price points of what you guys like, or like get them the same fucking thing.
Yeah, like you always come home. If you come home with flowers, you always have 2 bouquets of flowers.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, you could even just, if you wanted to do it for both of us, just have one and be like, this is for you
This is for you
guys.
I think that's fine, but there's this part of me that's like, don't be a fucking cheap, like, don't be like a cheapskate, dude. Just, you love them, get them each flowers. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Or if you like get, like you see something and you're like, oh, this looks like Alana, and you order it for her, you're like, hey, Megan, what do you think about this?
100%,
You
yeah.
get me something, which you do not have to do, but that's very sweet how aware of it you are.
You are, and you have been from the beginning, and you always did. Like we always did check-ins throughout the beginning part before we were like officially in a relationship with Megan, and then we've just continued to do that, each of us individually, but as a group as well. And that's part of when we've talked about jealousy, how we've avoided that. Really is, yes, there's things that come up and it, like initial feeling or an insecurity, but we talk that through, so it never developed into that. I just wasn't sure if that was something that was more of like an awareness for you with being with 2 females versus like me. I was like, okay, I'm losing my train of thought right here, guys.
Well, I don't think any of us are really selfish people. And I trust all the work that we've done, you know, that if you're going to feel something and all the conversations we've had, that we would talk about it.
Right.
You're not going to suppress it. And I just trust you guys, I guess, that if there is something, you would bring it up.
Well, and I think we've proved to each other that it is like a safe space if you're feeling a certain way, that you can say something and like you're not going to get some shit reaction.
Or judge, like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So I think that's important in this kind of relationship, is building that trust, like specifically to where you like make your partners feel safe to express whatever they're feeling.
Well, and the common denominator is love. Like, I love you and want the best for you, like whatever that means too. So if there's something that like you're feeling, like I want you to come to me and talk to me. I don't want you to suppress it. And like, I want you to live your best life. And if it isn't in this kind of relationship, I'd rather you guys share that with me than like, well, we're stuck in here and well, we have a social media, so I don't want to look bad, or like, you know what I mean?
Which a lot of people I think would do. I mean, I did it in a past relationship, just stayed because it was comfortable and I was too fearful to step outside of it. I think a lot of people do it.
Yeah. But in our case, like we're all in love and we want to do this and we love each other and we care about how each other feels. So it's not that much work. I know it might sound like a lot of work, but I think it's only a lot of work if you're super selfish.
I think in the beginning it can be a lot of work.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's
you
just
go
the
through,
adjustment
like-
period. You got to acclimate to the new
There's
style
growing
too.
pains
Yeah.
because you're getting used to something new. But then once you like lock it in, it's easy peasy,
Breeze, dude. We want cruise controlling,
No
dude.
problem.
You did mention fear, and a lot of people I think do have that fear, and they stay in those relationships that they're comfortable in because they don't want to jump into the unknown, which I think is a lot of where fear stems from. You're not a fearful person in general, Kev. Like, you always take things head on, but going into this relationship, did you have any fears about introducing another woman to our relationship? If so, what were they? Go.
So I would push back on that because I am, I think, a very fearful person, and like I have been since early childhood. Like I was always afraid of things, but I don't let my fears control me. So when I start feeling the fear, I know that's like a trigger for me to respond, not let that fear dictate my next response. It's like the fear presents itself, and then as soon as it does, I make a conscious decision to not act out of fear. But the fear definitely like lives within. What was the second part of that question?
So what, if any, what fears did you have about introducing another woman into our relationship?
Well, there was like an underlying, like just from watching Friends and Ross having like a wife and then she's lesbian and ends up leaving him for her.
Yeah.
That crossed my mind, but like I said, I love you. So I don't love you just because I want you to be mine. Like I love you and I want the best for you. So if it turned out that you were just lesbian or you just wanted to be in a relationship with a woman, like that would suck and it would hurt. But like I want the best for you and I want the best for you. So there's fears that pop in my mind sometimes of like how, we get a lot of comments. This isn't going to last. This isn't, and we don't put too much effort or energy towards it, but you do think about it of like, does this have an expiration date? Are you guys going to get tired of this kind of relationship and just want to go back to a monogamous relationship? But it's like, again, that's a fear that like passes by like a cloud. Like I don't let it storm in my head. It's like, well, if that happens, like I love you guys. And if that's what you want, I want that for you. I want to be part of that. But if ultimately that's what you want, I don't want to like hold you prisoner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're all in this relationship because we want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it works. It's nobody's forcing anything.
Yeah.
And I think once you start forcing something, it loses its magic. It loses its like,
Yeah, like the whole thing loses its magic. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like being in that situation and feeling that prior, like now I'm like, I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't fully want to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that just dims my light too.
Right.
Like you're just kind of hurting each other, which is like, it just seems really silly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think we did a lot of good like prep work going into this relationship. Not even just prep work, but in the relationship that you and I had, Kev, when it was just the two of us, we had a lot of conversations just in general about what we wanted in life. And you created such a safe space for me that I was even able to open up about my feelings about my sexuality. So I think in going into this and being able to have those conversations, I felt comfortable like with where we were at, with you knowing that I was very much in love with you and sharing those feelings with you. But then also I had this interest. Like it wasn't I'm just using you so I can have my foot in the door with this and then I'm going to leave you.
Yeah, and I never felt that. Like I said, it was just like a thought that would come through.
But I think it's something that could happen to people.
Sure.
Like if you don't have all of these conversations prior and you're not in that point in your relation, not even a point in your relationship, just an overall safe place in your relationship where you can share anything. Like I felt like I could share absolutely anything with you prior to that. To the point where even if I was feeling as though I was just lesbian, I could have told you that and been like, I love you, but this is how I feel sexually and I'm going to like continue on with that. And I feel like you would have been super supportive of that.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been a bummer.
Yeah.
Like, I would have had to dry my eyes a lot, but I want the best for both of you.
Yeah. I mean, Alana is thinking about getting a Subaru. So if there's any time to start getting afraid, it's now.
Look I'm allowed to get a Subaru
Babe, I'm
because
just
I'm
kidding.
half gay.
You're right. You're
So
right.
I've got a little bit of gay in me.
You got a
and
little
I
gay
can
in you.
drive my little Subaru.
You sure can. I'm just joshing.
And I'm in Colorado.
That's right.
No disrespect to any Subaru drivers out there who are not gay.
You don't
What
have
up, Subaru? Yeah. Is that all your questions?
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Do you feel closer to one of us in certain situations, and how do you navigate that?
That's a good question. I feel closer to each of you in different areas, but there isn't like, I feel like Alana and I have had more experiences together just because we've been together longer. But you and I have created a lot of experiences as well. So like there's just like, it's hard to articulate. There are differences, but it's not like one is stronger than the other. Like,
Well, me and Alana are very different.
you are, right. So, like, I know you enjoy going to the movies more. So, like, that's a fun time to do that, a fun thing to do with you. I know you like exploring. I mean, you like exploring too, but I think you like getting out into the wilderness more. And I like doing that too. So it's like, and we all like football, like we all like the same team, you know. There are differences with each of you, but I don't think it's like stronger or weaker. It's just like different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain because I don't have any reference of hearing anyone talk about
guess-
this either.
So a way to do it would maybe come up with a certain situation.
Go
like
for it.
something happening.
Okay.
Like your dog dies.
Oh, geez. I mean, that's all of our dogs. So,
No, but I'm just trying to say like that evokes a certain emotion.
or like a
from
parent
you.
dies, like one of my parents
I'm
die,
sorry.
or both my parents die, something like that.
Just something.
Like, who would
yeah.
I go to?
Right. Like I know that Alana is more nurturing. Like she is. Like
She is a more nurturing person, but like you're very there and present as well.
You are.
Like it's just a different. It's like you might not be like as physically touchy, but you'd be like, babe, like if you need to talk, I'm here. You know, and I know I could speak with you about anything as well. Like I feel comfortable coming to either of you with anything that gets thrown my way.
yeah.
I have to say,
good.
I feel like maybe nurturer isn't even the word. Like I'm more of a coddler, I think.
Coddler.
You're a
'Cause
cobbler?
I feel
Peach
like
cobbler?
in
Do you like
times where
shoes?
just a little peach coddler over here.
Isn't that someone, a cobbler who like does
Cobbler.
shoes?
Cobbler.
I said coddler.
Yeah. Me
So-
too.
Anyway, but I do feel like you are someone, like I feel comforted by you in moments where I've been really scared. Like when I had that thing happen to my eye that one time.
Yeah.
Where it started going all weird and I thought I was going to go blind. And you just kept me calm. You're like, okay, well, go lay down. I'll go bring you water.
So like EMT training.
Yeah.
So I think we have our differences in that way, but I could see how, like how you explained
The approach is different, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the closeness to us, like in answering your question of does he feel closer to one of us? I feel like it's just more so in those situations where it's our like our like activities. It's more in that.
Yeah.
But I feel
Alana's like,
I'm
again,
answering your question. My
You're doing great.
goodness.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
you're saying it
This
better
is
than I
new
can.
for us of having one person answer. Like normally it's more.
You have a voice.
don't worry, Alana. Next week
God,
we're
I'm
going
freaking
to
out.
get on you.
I'm scared. I feel like I'm gonna have to have the questions listed also because I'm such a visual person that I
You
need-
don't get a copy of the
No,
questions.
you just have to pay attention
Absolutely
and
not.
practice active
Are
listening.
you out of your mind?
All right, we'll see what happens.
We're not showing you. We're not showing you.
We'll see what happens.
I think that's all the questions I have for you today, Kevin. I really appreciate your openness and your honest answers.
I do too. You did a really great job, and thank you for sharing all that.
Thank you. Listen, your interview questions and skills are top notch. We're talking
Thank you.
Barbara Walters. We're talking
Yeah,
other people.
maybe
I don't know a
even
lot of.
higher than Barbara Walters.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If there
That's how
are
I
any
feel.
questions you guys have, though, specifically for Kevin or for
Well, for me, for this video,
for this one for Kevin, if there's anything.
and then we'll have a video for Alana and a video for Megan as
This
well.
is all about
Yeah.
Kevin.
Yeah,
not
let me
about me.
have one goddamn video.
Right.
Do you ever feel like things aren't about you?
Yeah.
Oh shit! All right. Well, again,
was great.
thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
This is fun. I'm excited to put you guys on the hot seat. I got
do
some
it.
good questions
Yeah,
for
we'll
you.
see you guys
Okay.
next week with another one.
Yeah. Until then, lights out, campers. Make
Lights
good
out, guys.
choices.
Bye.
Bye.